Bones, we've been through this. Romulan ale is not the answer to every problem. Nor are women. Look, just put Spock on the line.
Spock here, Captain.
Spock, we're gonna need to do something about Bones. He's drunk and trying to prescribe prostitutes to people again. We really need to... Oh, well, I'll call you back. Sorry about that. Just dealing with a friend of mine who's got a little bit of a problem. But let's not worry about that right now. Let's talk about Shakespeare, specifically Macbeth. Okay guys, first things first. I know you all noticed that I'm still wearing this lame necktie instead of my usual neck thingy. I still can't find it. If any of you guys see my neck thingy, let me know. Post a comment. Found your neck thingy. So guess what, you guys? We made it to Act 3. Act 3 starts out with everyone's favorite, Banquo. He's all by himself, except for there might be some servants there because they're sort of everywhere. You never know. Remember, the king is dead. Thou hast it now. King, Commodore, Glams, all as the weird women promised, and I fear thou played most foully for it. Ooh. Banquo's talking about Macbeth, of course, and he's saying how Macbeth has everything that the witches promised him. But Banquo's suspicious that Macbeth had some underhanded dealings to get what he wanted. And Banquo would be correct. Yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If there come truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine, why by the verities on thee made good? May they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? But hush, no more. So he's like, they said that you were going to be king, and that happened. They also said that my children were going to be kings. Maybe that's going to happen. That would be really cool. But he's interrupted because in come Macbeth, who is now the king, Lady Macbeth, Lennox, Ross, lords and attendants. A lot of people have just walked onto this stage. Macbeth says, here's our chief guest, Lady Macbeth. If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast, and all thing unbecoming. So they're about to have a feast to celebrate Macbeth becoming the king. And they talk a little bit about how they really want Banquo to come, and Banquo says, I'm going to go riding this afternoon. And they're like, well, you're going to still come to the feast, right? And he's like, oh, yeah, I'll totally be at the feast, but Fleance and I are going to go for a ride, and then we'll be at your feast. No worries. And then Macbeth brings up the king's two sons who ran away because they knew they couldn't face Macbeth or Banquo or Ross or any of them in combat. We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow, when therewithal we shall have cause to stay the craving us jointly. Hie ye to horse, adieu, till you return at night. Goes Fleance with you? Yes, Fleance is going with him. But yeah, Macbeth is still going, yeah, those losers ran away. Oh, they totally are probably guilty of killing their father. Totally. And they're like, we wish your horses swift of foot, and so commend you to their backs, and then they leave. I would like to point out that Macbeth says adieu, which is French, and he's Scottish. I'm just going to float that out there and let that process. And then everyone exits but Macbeth and one of his servants. And Macbeth is like, come here, servant. Attend those men our pleasure. Those men. Who are those men? They are, my lord, without the palace gate. Bring them before us. And then the servant leaves, and Macbeth has another long speech. I'll probably just paraphrase it because it's not like one of his great speeches. It's not terribly cool. He's really worried about Banquo who is his best friend. I mean, they were in the war, they were like Legolas and Gimli out there, probably counting the kills and having a great time. They were tight. But back home, Macbeth is suspicious because he is pretty sure that Banquo knows he's up to something. And also he's worried because of what the witches said. Banquo's children will be kings, not Macbeth's. Then, prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my grip. Thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue I have filed my mind. For them the gracious Duncan I have murdered. So he's like, why did I murder Duncan if none of my kids are going to be king? It's pointless. And while he's musing about this and going, Banquo is a problem, then in come the servant and 2 murderers, who I will maybe henceforth refer to as ninjas, because that's kind of what they do. And then Macbeth sends the servant away, and he talks to the murderers. He's like, did we talk yesterday? They're like, yeah, we talked yesterday. Well then, have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he in times past which held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self. This I made good to you at our last conference, passed in probation with you. Now you are borne in hand, how cross the instruments who wrought with them. And all things else, what might to have a soul to a notion craze, say thus did Banquo. Macbeth is a sneaky, sneaky man. He's telling these guys that these guys are really down on their luck and have a hard life. They're murderers. That is their career choice. And he's saying that all of the terrible hardships in their life are Banquo's fault. Somehow. Now, like you made it known to us, I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Are you so gospel to pray for this good man and for his issue, whose heavy hand hath bowed you to the grave and beggared yours forever? He's making Banquo sound really bad to these people. He's like, are you going to support this guy who screwed you for life somehow? And they're like, we are men, my liege, which I think kind of means, whoa, dude. We're not sure that he did all of this stuff. We're just guys. I mean, we're murderers, but we're just guys. We're just dudes. I in the catalogue you go for men, as hounds and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, sloughs, water rugs, and demi-wolves are all clept under the name of dog. So he's like, yeah, you're men, but you're men in the same way that all the breeds of dog are called dogs. You're special, you're murderers. That's what you are, you're murderers, you need to kill this guy, because he is apparently an ass to you. It's a good thing I came along and told you that. And the second murderer says, I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world hath so incensed that I am reckless what I do to spite the world. So he's like, yeah, I do have a really hard life, and I'm starting to not care about my life. So, sign me up. And the other one says, and I another, so weary with disasters, tugged with fortune, that I would set my life on any chance to mend it or be ridden it. We've got nothing to lose. Yeah, we'll kill this guy for you. Both of you know Banquo is your enemy. True, my lord. So is he mine in such a bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest life. And though I could, with barefaced power, sweep him from my sight and bid my will avouch it, yet I must not, for certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I must not drop, will wail his fall, who I myself struck down. So he's like, I could, since I'm the king, just be like, Banquo, you're banished. But I'm not gonna, because we have mutual friends. That's probably not really the reason he's doing it. He really does need Banquo dead, so that Banquo can't have any sons that are kings. which is really creepy, Macbeth. This is your best friend and you're already plotting his death. This, I think, is when Macbeth starts to tip. A lot of people think that Macbeth is crazy from the get-go. They think he's crazy for murdering Duncan. Maybe his method is a little off, but to me he's not crazy until now. Until he's like, gonna have to kill this guy who probably saved my life countless times and has always been there. Gonna kill him just so because he might have kids that are become king. That's when he goes round the bend, in my opinion. And the murderers are like, yep, we'll do it, we'll kill him. Your spirits shine through you. Within this hour at the most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves. Acquaint you with a perfect spy of the time, the moment on it, for it must be done tonight. And something from this palace, always thought that requires a clearness. And with him, to leave no rubs or botches in this work, Fleance, his son, that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart, I'll come to you anon. They're like, we are resolved, my lord. They're like, no, dude, seriously, we're in. We are in. I'll call upon you straight, abide within. And the murderers leave, and then Macbeth is all like, mwahaha. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight. So there you have it. Banquo and his son Fleance, who are out riding, gonna get murdered. At least if Macbeth has his way. But maybe not. You'll have to find out. So tune in next time. Okay, so my husband, who also watches these videos, yeah, I know, I'm married. You can weep now. I'm sorry. My husband, who watches these videos, said that they can be a little bit boring. Now, granted, he knows the play, so he knows what's coming. But he says sometimes I read the play too much. The best way, in my opinion, to view these videos is with the play in your hand so you can read along. That's the best way. Now, you guys are my viewers, so you are important. Do you think I should read less of the play and paraphrase more? Do you think I should read more of the play? Is there stuff that you feel I'm missing out on explaining? Just let me know. Leave a comment, because you guys are important to me, and I don't want you to get bored and go away. That really won't be necessary. We've got it under control down here. But thank you. This has been a PCPatientZero production. Thanks for watching.